start with, he's using a coal forge. I'll keep it going just because he's occupied. The coal is mined out of the ground. You can work with anything that contains carbon. You can just throw chunks of wood in the fire you want. As long as you're adding oxygen and it has carbon, you're going to get heat. The difference is the density of the carbon. Wood has X amount of carbon in a block this big. If you mine coal, it has 5 times as much carbon, the same amount of volume. It allows you to get more carbon in the space down in the fire pot. So that's why we're using a mined coal. More heat, more convenient, less flash. It also means we have to deal with impurities. Coal contains trace metals, silicas, sulfurs, things that can affect the quality of your steel, because your steel, once it gets hot, will absorb those trace metals and sulfurs. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. By controlling how much air he puts into it, that's going to control how high the temperature level is, and it's going to control his atmosphere. You can burn that carbon just so fast. So if you keep throwing more air into it than can be used up, there's going to be a lot of extra oxygen floating around this hot fire, and you're going to get scale. Okay? You're going to get it anyhow. It just kind of happens. When it's iron's at high temperature, oxygen hits it, it oxidizes, forms rust, and scale just falls off. But by controlling to have just enough oxygen, it'll reduce the scale, reduces impurities, keep a clean fire. The problem is he has to judge that today in the middle of the sun at 109 degrees at tooling that doesn't fit his stature.
So when you heat the metal, it becomes soft and it's easier to work with.
More pliable, yeah. It's almost like working with Play-Doh.
But you can eat Play-Doh.
Oh, that might explain something.
So at a certain temperature, because the steel is actually a crystal structure, and atoms are aligned magnetically inside of it, and they stack up to make these square crystals. And you heat it to a certain temperature, the crystals will realign to a different shape. So below that temperature, where you can hit it and bend it, but it's going to resist bending and stay bent, it's going to want to shear and break. You can do some, but not too much. If you raise it above that temperature, well, now instead of shearing, they will just realign. So as long as it's above, and that temperature varies with the steel, but we'll say 1450 to throw a number on it, you can reshape it without damaging. Now, you're still going to take very specific steps to get the best possible crystal structure when he's done. But as far as the forging goes, get it hot and hit it. If you get it too hot, it's going to melt.
With higher carbon steels, there is an issue with the right temperature. If you hit it too cold, it'll crack. If you get it too hot, it'll crack. So today is not real ideal conditions for forging out because of the sun. It's hard for me to judge my temperature. But ideally, with this is 5160. Ideally, I want to be forging between 15 and 1800 degrees.
Because of the climate, were tools made in a particular part of the country because of climate more so than others?
No, I mean, most of our stuff was, I mean, until the probably late 1800s, early 1900s, most of our stuff was manufactured from Europe. Just in the late 1800s and early 1900s did American companies start manufacturing anvils and such. So it wasn't so much climate, it's just that our technology we hadn't gotten to the industrialization yet.
We produced the raw material, smelted out in flumes, which is a big manufacturer. By Europe, you stated they had the industry set up to turn into something else. So it was easier to ship back and forth. That makes start taxing you, and then you make a revolution, and then
She'll take you with her. And it's a wonderful opportunity to learn a little bit about how we eat land.
not always the most exciting thing to watch. Eat it, hit it, eat it,
So
hit it.
what I'm
eat
going
it,
to
hit
do
it.
now is I'm going to take this little tool we made a little earlier, and I'm going to isolate the material.
Iron there.
Oh, we got it.
Sure. Okay.
Ooh, we isolated too much.
Okay, can all work with that piece then?
Sometimes there's a fine line between good and perfect. That's not it.
So we're starting over.
That's what happens when you're as strong as Paul Bunyan. You know?
We'll do our isolation first this time.
So how long does it usually take to make a knife?
Typically it depends on the style, but the knife that we're making right now, typically I can make in about a half hour. Or at least forge in a half hour.
So then you got heat treated and all that.
Then I gotta heat treat it, then I gotta grind it, then I gotta handle it. Yeah.
Gotta make it pretty. Not a lot of work.
Yeah. Some knives are more than others.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman helped us to make this happen. Travis Jones, pull yourself on over here.
I'm blaming the user.
Is that tool you guys made kind of hot now?
What's that?
That tool you guys made, is it hot now? Hot?
This is what they call a spring fold. What I'm trying to do is isolate. We're making an integral knife, so I'm trying to isolate where my tang is going to be.
Ah.
Thank you very
And
much.
I isolated a little too much
That time not so much.
last time. This time, not so much.
Where was the foraging?
I just trying to make sure they get it all fixed.
Here we go. Just like downtown.
How many times is that falling off?
What's that?
Tube there. How often has that fallen off today?
That's the first time.
Wait till there's 30 people watching.
That's now.
In your own shop, things go perfect.
Yeah.
You want to be a good rifle shot? Go out alone. And no one's watching.
Being a little bit more careful this time.
Yeah.
And that isolates that. Then we'll do it one more time.
Seems like a minor step. The act of forging allows him to start with the piece he needs and forge the rest out. If you're going to machine this in modern style, you need a block iron this big to leave behind that little piece in the middle.
So how long have you guys been doing this then?
Pardon?
How long have you guys been doing this?
We got here at the crack of dawn.
I was saying not today, but like all together years.
I've been fiddling with this for 30 years now. Not sure Dave, he's a young strapping guy. So.
Only been doing it for about 12.
That's still a long time. So I take it it's like a learn as you go type program then?
It's a neat one. There are classes and schools you can take.
Yeah.
In the end, you have to get a hot kit. But you will benefit tremendously from working with somebody once to see how they do it, to give you a basis to start from.
Yeah.
So, you can work it out on your own.
But you're not gonna get the best quality then.
You're going to get there a whole lot faster if you work with other people done it.
Because they already know what not to do and what to do.
They can show you how they successfully do it, and that gives you, you're already a big leg up.
Yeah.
You may not do it the same way they do it, but you know a way that works to start with. See, we're making the point.
Is there any difference in the angle between the steel you're using and the iron you're using?
Not effectively. Technically, this one's cast and that one's forged anvil, but it's just chance. Guy had it for sale, and I wanted something small enough I could actually carry it to a demo.
Oh yeah, there's different stuff.
So what's the difference between a cast and a forged one? The cast is heavier?
Two different types of manufacturing the metal. So, casting technology is newer, and we're able to make good quality casting for maybe the last 120 years. So it's not necessarily better, worse, or different. Nowadays, casting is a lot cheaper than trying to forge it, and just as good a quality. It results in totally different metallurgy than what he's working with. One second, Dave.
Yep.
Demonstrate.
Oh, okay.
Demonstrate.
So what I got going on is this is going to be our integral bolster, where these two divots are. I'm going to come in after I got the blade forged out, and I'm going to squish it down here, and we'll draw our tang out. Right now I'm working on the blade profile, and so I'm using the peen of the hammer, and I'm hitting it this way because I want to draw the metal out this way. I don't want to make it any longer. And this way I can control the direction which I move the steel.
I've learned a whole lot today. So many knives have you guys forged today?
Today, this is the second one.
Over to the first one.
First one's right over here. I'll let you guys pass it around and look at it.
That is beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Blades can be forged out here, and they can even be heat treated, what we have. But the limit of our technology that we have right here, Dave in his own shop with his professional grade tools and testing and measurement can make 5 times the quality of what we do here.
Jeez.
So
So you can make good quality here, but you can make like 5 times the better quality there.
yep, so he can forge it to shape and stuff, but he's going to be realistic
everything's more controlled in my shop.
Yeah.
You know,
Quality control is a lot better.
I have an electric heat treat oven, which I control within plus or minus 2 degrees. Out here, I'm plus or minus probably 100. Yeah, if I'm lucky. So the control at which I can make the knives is much better. The forging part's not the hard part.
Fun part. Have a platter, you want it?
That's one way to build arm muscles also. I definitely need.
It's not so much arm muscles, it's actually like right in here.
I bet you're gonna get carpal tunnel.
Well, 12 years so far, and
Oh, good.
One muscle get use the kettlebell.
Tang earlier? What is it?
Trust me, it's fast.
tang.
It's the part that goes into like the handle of the knife.
Yeah, it's similar. So this is a draw shave, a draw knife. These would what be considered a tang. This is what you're going to put your handles on. Same way with a knife. It's just that they won't be bent. It'll be straight.
Thank you. He made it this way. If you want to scare him, say, how well does it throw?
It would chatter. If I'm not mistaken, right? It would chatter right now if you threw it.
He gave it a heat treatment, and he did temper it.
It should be good right now.
I think it'd be just fine.
So if I get sugar,
Well, first off, it shouldn't. No. You wouldn't want to throw it at a live tree randomly. But we got blocks and stuff. He might let you throw it. There's no need for that. It's not the best design.
It's more like a kitchen that looks like.
Throwing, you're gonna put the point in. Just have to be.
Go on, right now. I got some in my bag.
Yeah, you're more welcome to. Just those ones are really sharp.
This right here is what Dave normally makes. Done starting with the same thing. He forges them the same way to start with. But then to finish the heat treatment, it makes it much greater quality than we can do with this technology in this environment.
So we're making progress,
He does it day in, day out.
but it's still really thick yet.
yeah, compared.
Yeah, and we'll get that thickness out of there as we go.
Sounds very similar to the one you just got done making.
The difference of this one, see how the tip comes down here? There's a hole punched into it here. So it actually lines up, the tip goes through and it's peened over. It's a mortise and tenon drill. So that's totally solid lock, can't bend, can't move it.
So it's actually so that's like a speed design.
Are these knives mainly used for the same purpose?
Yeah, I mean, whatever purpose people use them for,
I mean, I love my Cutco kitchen knives. Are you familiar with those?
Yep,
Okay, what makes them so great compared to other brands? Any idea?
probably heat treat.
Okay.
Um,
And a lot of people.
most any knife is pretty much made in the heat treat. If it's cheaply heat treated, it ain't gonna hold an edge and it's not gonna take an edge. So
My knives are double edge, double. This comes from the grinding. Oh, he's got a symbol. He's got a symbol on all of them. Is that a symbol? your personal symbol, the anvil?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I've seen it on a couple of them.
Well, now I've since changed my logo.
Okay.
After I was on Forge of Fire, I changed it.
Oh, you were actually on Fortune on Fire?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Japanese samurai swords. I have handled some. And, you know, they're 3 or 4 years old and they're water.
Did you win?
Second place.
Ah.
Oh.
They didn't know why they were doing it. They just made it consistent.
That's not too bad at least.
Nah, not bad.
Stingrays.
Great. This thing on there is enough.
I thought about going on. I think I've been interested in forging. It's like that sounds like something I'd be interested in, but it's like at the same time you got very limited time to make your knife. Or
It's not as bad as what you think it is. Like I said, I can forge a blade. If I take my time and forge a blade, I can forge it in an hour. If I take my time.
Salted.
And if I take my time, that means I only spend 15 minutes on the grinder.
If it just
If I try to hurry up and forge a blade in a half an hour, I'm going to end up spending an hour on the grinder. So, I mean,
it's easier to spend an hour on the forge than it is an hour on the grinder.
exactly.
find something like that, ideally then you stabilize it, lock it in, make beautiful wood burning.
Honestly, I'm glad to see blacksmithing coming back into a fashion though.
Lightly rotted wood where it's rotted out.
So what I'm looking at now, and what I'm trying to do,
Let's see if it's straight.
it has nothing to do with being straight right now. What I'm trying to do is put distal taper in the tip of my blade.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we got when we get needed lightens down the blade, doesn't it?
Well, it helps with balance.
That as well. It helps lighten it as well a little bit.
People use that term a lot. because
Less
you
material.
almost never
You can
see
extend the length of it. Also uses less.
Yep.
Uses less material to make a longer blade.
Again,
Yep.
that's how the grain of the tree
It's
grows.
the same amount of weight, I should say, but it's
You may
just
get curly, you
longer
may get-
blade, less weight in the
you may not
blade.
get anything.
Well, what you're doing is when you put that distal taper in, is you're making the
So
tip
it's taking
lighter
advantage of Gibson giving us.
than the Ricasa.
Transfer into this.
Then the guard.
Now with
Change the
a
strength.
hidden tang,
No, actually makes it a little easier.
it's
because
a
the
little
grain's funny,
bit more
but
tricky
it gives a stop.
because you have so little
If you were to cut that
metal
piece of wood,
for the tang.
Mm.
it's cool.
So you gotta kind of balance that out with a heavier, denser type wood.
Mm.
Especially with our modern ability to stay,
So that's why oak and hardwoods.
Yep.
stay good and solid.
That and they last longer too than pine wood. If I'm not mistaken.
It's acrylic. So you're taking a piece of wood that's been like a hollow log, and you fill the hollow with acrylic. And it just makes it an interesting, nice, makes a color tone to it. Super solid, fills in the gaps. Ken left. There was a guy earlier who was a pen turner. It's his hobby. And he always turns paint pens.
Okay.
So that's what they use a lot of. Is rotted out wood. Injected acrylic. So when they're turning, you get the mixes of the colors and the wood.
I notice a lot of your pieces of steel there are a bit oxidized. Is that a good thing?
No, it's not a good thing. Because every time you see all this, that's basically carbon leaving your blade.
No, I'm saying these ones here in front here are pretty oxidized.
Oh, those aren't knives.
Oh, those aren't gonna be knives?
No,
What are those gonna be?
I don't know. Whatever Brent wants them to
Where are
be.
you looking?
I was just looking at these things here. I figured the oxidization on those would be a problem.
That's just random scrap steel I brought to essentially make something out of for demonstration. So yes, they have been rusted. They got oxide on the outside. I'm gonna put it in the fire and hit it. I don't care.
So it's not gonna affect the product in the end?
Nope,
No,
it's not gonna hammer it, totally change your shape.
Not to mention that's not high carbon steel. That's just low carbon steel. He's using it for.
Like make the swirl cookers,
Yeah.
and fire rings, and
So what you lose in carbon out of that doesn't really matter.
Maybe those on the carbon out of that one though, it does.
Yes, it does. I mean, it's minute what you're losing, but the and the problem is right now is it's our fire. It's not a oxygen reducing fire. It's really tough to.
It's just a very simplistic forge, it looks like to me.
Probably more typical than it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, but and like I was saying earlier, out here in the sun, it's really hard to tell what temperature this is. I could be overheating this. I don't know.
So when will you know?
When I heat treat it,
Okay.
either it'll crack on me or something along that lines.
Breaking two.
And
Yeah.
Dr. Card stabs a pick with it.
Shatter.
Or when I start grinding it, also, I'll notice imperfections in the steel where I've cooked impurities or I've burned the carbon out of metal.
Can you fix it if you?
No,
You cannot
once it's burnt, you can't go back.
Because it won't hold up, right?
Nope,
You can't reforge it then?
nope.
Ah.
They don't even sell it as seconds.
What is it?
I'll show you. It's like a portable burger. So, being that I can't really see the colors right now, I'm kind of going by feel of when I should stop forging because I can't really see what temperature it is. So I can feel in the hammer when the metal starts getting more solid.
That's where that 12 years experience comes from.
Yes, because otherwise I'd probably be burning this stuff up and we probably wouldn't even have a knife by now.
It'd be a pile of mush.
Mush or crumble cake.
Just make the bill. And then you don't know until you grind it. Did you get the batter you grind?
So when do you do the straightening process?
What's that?
So when do you straighten it out?
When do I straighten it out?